After building many full-size and sometimes odd-shaped homes, I wanted to try to go tiny, but as always, still functional. I have an idea for a girly boho camper. Let's see if I can pull it off. I'm starting with an 8x4 rounded rectangle. The rounded corners will help make it look more like a camper than just a box. My goal is for this little travel trailer to look like it's been parked on a small lot for a little bit. I also knew it needed a deck because that is super important if you've ever been camping with a travel trailer before. You need your outdoor space. I'm also adding a thick stripe around the bottom and making it one of my favorite shades of pink. Going with the metal roof also helps sell the camper vibe, and then adding the canopy really makes it just work so much better. And I also made the canopy same shade of pink as the stripe on the camper, and I think that just looks so adorable. It really ties it together. I tried out a couple different tables, and in the end, this is the one that worked. I really loved being able to change the texture on top as well. And then of course had to add the happy camper rug. One thing I have been super loving about Paralives is the layering ability. Being able to place pillows and blankets on chairs just adds that touch of cozy you can't get any other way. I'm picturing this as a place to drink your morning coffee. I will include a little spoiler here. I tried several times to place string lights hanging from the canopy with the advanced placement tool, but every time I did, they kept teleporting back to the wall. But I decided that still looks very cute and cozy. Next to the door, at first I tried a shoe rack, but it ended up not being what I wanted. I remembered this arch wicker shelf and knew it was perfect for the boho theme. I immediately started layering it with lots of plants and then even a lantern and some candles. This deck is going to be glowing at night and I can't wait to see it. I'm really loving how the deck is turning out, but it felt like it needed a railing. I kept it open in the front and extended the stairs to not block off the view of the seating area, which is my favorite part. This little corner felt a little empty, so I added a small shelf with a few layered decorations, throw in a pair of boots, and now it's a little gardening station. I couldn't be happier with how the deck has turned out. Now it's time to head inside. I decided to build the bathroom first because I wanted it to be functional, and if I built the bathroom first, that way I could build the rest of the camper around it once I knew it worked. And just because it's tiny doesn't mean it can't have personality, so I decided to add a little bit of that with some decorations and then mainly with the wallpaper. It adds personality without becoming overwhelming in a small space. Next up is the kitchen. This part was very much trial and error. I didn't want to make it too small, but I also knew I needed to leave enough room for the bedroom and living room. I spent a bit of time trying out different layouts before settling on the one that I liked. I've become completely obsessed with green appliances since my cozy cottage build. The combination of sage green and warm copper just makes me so happy. I seriously wish I had this in my real life kitchen. For the bedroom, I wanted it to feel like its own little nook, so I built a wide archway and added curtains. I recently discovered you can change the texture and materials of fabrics. It's so subtle, but it really adds that extra depth that can instantly bring a space together. I added a nightstand, a small dresser with a mirror, and I'm really into placing these candles on this little decorative plate. It's becoming one of my go-to tricks, especially paired with these roses. It feels so girly and so romantic. I love it. To balance out the other side, I added a nightstand and lamp and ended up layering it with some books and picture frames. The wall still needed a little something, so I added my favorite floating shelves. I find myself decorating with these trailing plants and picture frames over and over again. I just love the look. And this wicker laundry basket is quickly becoming one of my favorite items in the game. I can't stop layering it with blankets and pillows on top. It's just the perfect mix of textures and layers that gives a very lived-in, cozy, homey feeling. At first, I absolutely loved this layout. It felt like the perfect tiny bedroom. But unfortunately, during my functionality test, my para couldn't access the bed. So I did a little rearranging. I rotated the bed underneath the shelves, moved the nightstand to the other side, relocated the wicker basket under the window, and added some curtains for the window to fill out the space. I think I like this version even more. It still has all the cozy boho vibes I wanted, and now everything works. Right next to the bathroom, there was this tiny little nook, and I wanted every inch of this 8x4 camper to have a purpose, so I turned it into a cozy little office. An L-shaped desk fit perfectly along with a cute chair and laptop. I also couldn't resist hanging some of my favorite in-game artwork, these little ducks, and then there was just enough room to squeeze a tall cabinet into the corner for a little extra storage. Okay, finally the living room. Of course I had to layer as many pillows and blankets as possible onto this little couch. And then I'm gonna finish off this little space with a cute retro style TV, a lamp, and a rug. Also, sometimes I forget about ceiling lights, so sometimes I turn the in-game lighting to nighttime so I can see if I miss any spaces. This ended up becoming the ultimate little girly boho camper. It feels peaceful, cozy, and the perfect little retreat. I like to imagine my para came to visit Molino and then decided she never wanted to leave. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay cozy.